Hello everyone. I'm very excited today to have as my guest on True Prison Stories Mr. Mike Cantrell. He is from the Prison Podcast, and he is also with Command Presence. We are here today, this week actually, in St. Louis, Missouri at the ILEETA conference, the International Law Enforcement Education and Trainers Association. And I'm really proud. We know each other from social media.
Yep.
I've been on your podcast a couple of times.
Yeah.
And now we finally get to train together. We had a training session on the future of corrections. Monday we had a panel, and Mike and I are both teaching this week here at ILEETA, and just great to finally meet you in person and be with you.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been reading your articles on Corrections 1 for a long time before we even met through the podcast, so I'm happy to be here.
And we're also both Corrections 1 columnists. But
Yeah.
I want to just turn it over to Mike today. I want him to just tell us about two things so that my folks that watch me on my channel will know Mike, and please go to his podcast. It's on YouTube. So he's going to tell you about his Prison Officer podcast, and then he's going to tell you about working here at ILEETA and when the company you're with, Command Presence.
Okay.
I do want to say one thing, folks. International Law Enforcement of ILEETA and the International Association of Chiefs of Police is starting to bring in and promote corrections, which is much needed, and that's why I would like Mike to talk to you about a few things. Go ahead and you take over, please. Tell us about those things.
Absolutely. I actually joined ILEETA back in 2015, and I had read their journal. You know, I was a trainer. They had really good articles from firearms guys that were top in the country, but it was never really for corrections. It was just for law enforcement trainers. So I kind of hid in the periphery and, just kind of peeking at their articles and learning from them. So yeah, I'm so excited that you and I believe, are the first two corrections-oriented classes this year.
We are.
Yeah.
In the history of ILEETA, you and I have broke the ice. I'm proud of it, though, folks, because we're trying to help all our corrections brothers and sisters out there. We are being recognized by law enforcement international agencies now, and we're glad to break the ice, and we got a lot of folks out there we want to invite.
And if you're a correctional trainer, I invite you to join ILEETA. This isn't NTOA. This isn't one of those other organizations. This one is specifically for trainers. And whether you're a correctional trainer, whether you're a law enforcement trainer, how people learn's the same, and we can learn from each other. And it's not just firearms trainers. I went to a class this morning on how to build PowerPoints. Instructor Z, I think was his name. Amazing. I learned a lot of stuff, and I thought I was good at PowerPoints, but I learned a lot of stuff this morning. Miles Cook yesterday, he did one on objective decision training and how they do that at his academy, objective driven training. That's what it was. So they set the objectives, and the training is focused on meeting each one of those objectives. Learned a lot yesterday from him also.
And I was in Michael Warren's class, who is of Command Presence as well, and he talked about simulated training. And you go in there thinking, okay, simulation, firearms training system, taser. No. Doing scenario simulated training on all types of things that can help us as correctional officers, such as inmate manipulation scenarios, and all for corrections, and for law enforcement coming up on a person that is mentally ill, which we do as well in corrections. There's more to simulated training than just firearms and tasers. Yeah. Michael Warren's class was great. Check him out too on his
Faces of Leadership
podcast, please.
Yeah, scenario training is so important because even if you don't actually do it, our mind can't, or our body can't go where our mind hasn't been. If you haven't thought about what you're going to do in a situation, and we've all done it, sat in a housing unit somewhere and thought, well, what if somebody comes through that door with a stick and attacks me? What would I do? Well, that's scenario based. That's thinking and giving your mind a way to think about it, so that when it happens, you're ready. You're not ready, but you've thought about it, and your reaction time is going to be cut in half, and that's a lot of what he talks about.
And you know, in the old days, we've always told everybody, while you're in your dorm or pod, think about a scenario. What would you do in that situation? Now, with the technology we have, they're making it much more easier. You can implement any scenario you want that could happen in a jail or prison and practice that scenario, so that it's even better than thinking about it while you're sitting in your pod.
Yeah, and there's this year I think was the biggest, but they had 120 vendors.
Yes.
So I got to go walk through Milo. Milo's got scenario systems that are based with videos and stuff that you react to. I talked to I think it was Ace. And it was a virtual kit that you put on your eyes.
Yeah.
And you pick up this gun, and I thought it was going to be plastic, but it wasn't. It was, you could hit the button in virtual reality and drop a magazine and hit the bottom of it, and it would insert a magazine. It was amazing, the stuff that's there. And they weren't the only vendors. I mean, there were tons of vendors.
Oh, Corrections One had their training crew here from Graham.
Yep.
His folks were here. It's just an amazing place. And what we want to do as the first initial corrections folks to be in this, we want to broaden corrections at ILEETA. And we were just talking this afternoon, a lady brought this to our attention that was in our class Monday. She said, you know what? We need to get a lot more corrections vendors out here. So our goal with the team there's 4 of us on team, we're going to try to get more corrections vendors here next year.
Yeah. And more corrections classes. I already talked to one of the guys that was in the class, Sonny, and he said he's going to do a class next year. Good. Probation. He's probation and parole, but you know, we're all doing the same jobs.
We need them all: probation, parole, corrections. Folks, I want to tell you, ILEETA, ILEETA. Please Google it, and you can get on there, and for a minimal fee, sign up to be a member for a year, and you'll get all the notifications of all the training and when this is happening in St. Louis at the historic train station hotel. I mean, this thing was built in the 1800s. Yeah. It's a beautiful place. So
plus you'll get the journal.
You'll get the journal. And
the journal, I'm telling you, Todd Fletcher writes for them. John Bostain's had articles in there. Some of the best trainers, law enforcement trainers in the country, and the journal's part of the membership. It's well worth it.
Mike and I and Adam Sowden from Corrections Ones are the first ever corrections folks to have articles published. Yep. Twice for me, 3 for you, right?
I'm at 4.
4.
But, yep.
Twice for me, and I think Adam has 1 or 2.
Good.
We're getting in there, folks, for corrections. We're getting in there. The purpose that we're looking for now is to get our front line to tell us what problems they have, and we know, but we want to hear it from you. What we need to do to tell ILEETA we need to train in that, and what management and corrections must do to support us, to support what we're doing here, not just say, hey, I don't have time for that. We need everybody on board. Yeah. Now, that's ILEETA. Please tell us about your prison podcast and where they can get a hold of you.
Oh, absolutely. So I've been doing a podcast for the last almost 5 years now. So it's www.theprisonofficer.com. I've had 121 different countries that have tuned in. So when you're sitting there in corrections and you think you're alone, you're not. There's somebody somewhere in almost every country of the world in a broken chair in a seg unit doing, having to do the job we've done and we do currently. So you're not alone. One more thing I want to talk about is, so this year I got hired on with Command Presence, and the reason I want to talk about them is because last January I got a call from John Bostain, and he's been a long-time law enforcement trainer, one of the founding members of ILEETA, and he said, I want to give corrections the training that law enforcement gets. I want to give them the training that they deserve. And so he contacted me. We've spent this year building up some great training. I've already been out and done several of the classes, from report writing, excellence in corrections, just being a good correctional officer, understanding, left of bank, situational awareness, how that affects our job. We've also got a new one coming up, which is Coach, Train, Evaluate, CTO, which is it comes from police with the FTO, but correctional training officer programs. So that'll be rolling out in July. leading without rank, leading when it hits the fan. So we've got a whole bunch of those. You can reach out to me, Mike@theprisonofficer.com, and I can get you information on those. And while you're there, check out the podcast and check out his podcast. I watch his when I'm not making mine.
Yeah, please check out the Prison Podcast, and of course, anything you want Mike to know, you can send them comments under here as well. He'll see it because he's going to see this video. And what we're trying to do, folks, in a nutshell, before we wrap it up here, we don't want to hold you too long, is we want to build the corrections into the criminal justice system where it should be. We deserve the respect, because Mike has a saying. What's that saying about you may bring them in, you may work with them on the street, but we live with them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
But we live with them daily.
We do. We know them better than the police officers do.
Yeah.
And that's why our investigations are so important on the inside, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking in my class Thursday and Friday. I'm going to talk about how important it is for outside agencies to cooperate and work with us in the correction system, because we are loaded with information that can help them solve many cases if they just come to us and ask for our assistance.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a great class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everybody for watching. Please put your comments in. Please check out Mike on the Prison Podcast. He gave you the info how to get there. And if you like this video, please subscribe to 2 Prison Stories. And I want to tell all you officers out there, and those of you who are not officers, that are family of officers, God bless you all. And those that are watching that aren't corrections, God bless you all. And please stay safe.
Absolutely.